guys, we are starting today's vlog in Millie's room. I don't think I've been in here in a vlog since maybe our baby shower. Hi. Yeah. But I kind of just wanted to, I've been wanting to like do this video. I watched a few of these when I was pregnant and I think they're helpful, but basically like just giving like a quick rundown on like first 6 months of being a new mom and basically what I've learned, what I heard before, and what actually helped. So if you're, you know, a new parent or currently pregnant and kind of afraid of, you know, like that 4th trimester and just coming home with a new baby. So I think like the biggest takeaway is like when everyone says like it goes by so fast, that like gave me more anxiety than it helped me. And now I realize like people say that as a means to like ease the stress. And what that means by like it goes by so fast, like all the hard moments are like just kind of gone and you're on to like another chapter. And I remember like people saying also like, oh, like you think that's hard, like the next thing they do is going to be so much harder or whatever. And like it isn't, because I feel like then you're like less sleep deprived. And so anyway, I mean, people say a million things and try to give you advice. No one can really prepare you because it's something that's just so new. And I think the other big takeaway is like for anything new that you do it differently than everybody else, and you have a different lifestyle. And so like what's worked for someone else, it's not going to work for you, blah, blah, blah. So the reason why I think 4th trimester, so the 3 months after giving birth, are so difficult is because you are recovering, first of all. Whether you had a natural birth or a C-section, you're recovering. And I think there is like this mental process of, will my body ever be the same? Probably not. And there's like this almost like a mourning stage, which I obviously thought about while I was pregnant, but like when it happens, it's like a whole new thing. And then there's guilt involved because you're like, well, I have like the most precious baby. Like, why am I worried about something that's so vain or whatever? So I think it's a mixture of that, and then obviously your hormones are all over the place. It's so lovely that your body just somehow when you're pregnant just makes you, you know, out of nowhere, I feel like kind of have more energy and have like, basically your body comes together to create life, and it's like the most miraculous thing. And then the second you give birth, your body's like, I'm done. Even though you're like, excuse me, I still need energy to raise this baby. Yeah. So it's like interesting. I feel like how incredible our bodies are, and I'm like beyond amazed at all women's bodies that are able to carry a baby, and just women in general. But the fact that we're able to do this, I think it's incredible. So it's just like, as of like how impressed I am by nature and like what our bodies do, it's also like, why haven't we evolved to, I don't know, like kick into gear like after birth to just like go into like super mom mode. And then you throw some postpartum depression into the mix, and then that is what makes it harder. So I felt like I dealt with all those 3. Not everyone gets postpartum depression. I have this theory that it's obviously like hormones. I mean, like everyone says, your hormones are fluctuating all over the place, but I really just think it's like, it's the quickest shift in life. That's like, it's like amazing, but also scary. And I think like your mind is just not prepared to get on board with how different everything is. And it's like, you've changed, you're now a mom, you're not like the person you were, but like you also have this new baby that you like trying to learn about and evolve with, and like, yeah, so, the delicious milkies? Oh goodness. So yeah, it's just, my theory is that it's not just hormones, it's really just like that shock. And I think some people are more sensitive to that shock than others. So, and then the lack of sleep is that to me, like, I remember thinking like I would pay some good money to just have like 2 consecutive nights of like good sleep. Like, but then the other thing too was like that lasted 3 months, and by like 3.5 months, she was sleeping a good 8-hour stretches, and you know, still napping through the day. So you do get like breaks, you know, like your baby does sleep a lot of hours, especially when it's a newborn. And in that newborn stage, I probably took 2 naps during the day, and that's one thing that I would hear people say all the time, like, sleep when the baby sleeps, and then other people say like, yeah, but who's gonna do everything else? And honestly, all the other stuff is going to pile up anyway. Like, you can try to be on it as much as you want, the dishes are still gonna pile up, laundry's gonna pile up. So if you can, like, you know, get an hour of sleep or during the day while the baby naps, like, you're going to be so much more energized to then do the chores later. So, and on top of that, I was also breastfeeding. So, but we had some latching issues. Well, not really, but I introduced the bottle kind of early, because my milk didn't come in for like 5-6 days. And then she got used to the nipple and the bottle, and then of course was like, this is different. So I started pumping, and that's a full-time job. Like, I've gained so much more respect. I used to think like, wow, so like I had a C-section and now I'm pumping, so like I'm getting like all the easy way outs of like motherhood, and wow, no, pumping is not the easy way out. Because you have a million parts to wash and disinfect and then put together and then pump and then feed, and it's like at least an hour process. And when they're little, they're doing it every 2.5 hours. So you literally are finished, and then it's like, oh wow, it's time to start again. But again, with all these things that I'm saying, it felt so overwhelming. And I remember like with the postpartum depression, and like that first month, I was just like, how can I do this for a year? And I remember like that was just like the number I put in my head, is like that this is going to be for a year, because like that's how long she's a baby for. And then I realized like she started sleeping through the night by like 3 months. We didn't have to do as often of a feeding until I think about like 2.5-3 months also. So it's like certain things got easier, then there were of course other challenges like with like napping and stuff like that. But the point is like it keeps it interesting, and the things that you're so worried about and like that are not working out, like next month most likely will not be an issue. So the whole like you'll get new challenges is actually a freeing thing, I think. So basically like I was so like, how am I going to do all of this for a year? Like, this is so difficult. And the point is that you're not doing it for that long. And in terms of like, I guess parenting styles and that kind of thing, that's been the other thing that I feel like I learned so much about. So I have mom friends that, you know, are on a very strict schedule with sleep and naps and all of that. And then I have other moms that are like more go with the flow. I definitely thought I was going to be one of those like structured kind of people. And then I feel like when I brought her home, I was like, I'm just like going to give myself like grace. This is so difficult. Like nothing could prepare you for this. And like I'm a morning sleeper. Like I love sleep and I love to sleep in. And I remember it was like maybe 2 weeks in, and I would get up at like 6 a.m. to pump. And I remember like 2 weeks in thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to sleep again. And it's like to do like a task that's not even like rewarding really. Like, you know, you're just sitting there with a machine. Like it's not like, oh, I'm holding my baby. This is so sweet and beautiful. But yeah, I just told myself I'm like going to give myself some grace. And with like everything else, I was like feeding and everything else I'm going to absolutely follow what the pediatrician is, you know, recommending. And I feel like I really followed everything to a T. even when we were exhausted, we were doing the bath time, we were doing the books, and we were, you know, even like though she probably didn't get any benefits from reading a book 2 months old, but we wanted to create like rituals and, you know, bonding and stuff like that. So so basically with like sleep, I just started to like, during the day, I was just like, sometimes she would fall asleep in her crib, sometimes she fell asleep in her stroller, sometimes she would fall asleep in her DockATot. Like, we basically fed, kind of played, hung out, and then when she got tired, she kind of like just dozed off and went to sleep. And I remember like one day I was like, I really need to walk, like I just need to get out of the house, and she was sleeping, and I was like, this is probably like really stupid, and I just like picked her up, put her in the stroller, and we went for a walk. And she woke up, but she wasn't fussy. And a lot of my friends would have told me, nope, yeah, don't do that, don't wake a sleeping baby, blah blah blah. And I just felt like the more like relaxed I was about the sleep schedule, like she'll sleep when she wants to sleep, and if I also have to like go somewhere, I could also like wake her up, which I know like is still cringy to say out loud, because I feel like a lot of parents will be like, absolutely not. Maybe I'm also really lucky that she's just like one of those babies that like she never wakes up fussy. She just like kind of wakes up, like looks around, and is like instantly in a good mood. So if I had one of those babies that like was fussy, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. So it could have been a mixture of that, but like I think the not having anxiety around the sleep like was really helpful, like once she was like 2 months old and so on. So I've talked like to other moms, and like some moms are like, oh, that would give me so much anxiety if I couldn't like predict what time my baby's gonna be sleeping tomorrow, like at 3 p.m. Like I would never be able to plan anything around it. And although that is true, I do feel like this schedule just works better for us. And that goes back to my point of everyone is just like different, and your lifestyle and your schedule and like your personality even, like this is your child, and your child is going to have to kind of fit in with your schedule and like your lifestyle. The thing with parenting is like you're constantly making decisions. Like it can be something so small to like you know, like whether you're going to breastfeed, whether you're not, whether like what formula you're using, like I mean it's just all day long you're making decisions, and you could easily be making a lot of them wrong, and you kind of just have to like, well, this is what I'm deciding right now, and like for the next stage I'll decide then. And it's hard, because then at the end of the day you're like, oh, did I do this right? Should I have done this differently? And also super normal. But along with all those like decisions, that's the one thing that like, you know, when you like work on yourself as an adult and you try to like heal childhood traumas and wounds and whatever, and like I feel like I had great parents, but we all have stuff. Like if your parents are like super nurturing and loving, you'll have like one set of trauma is like a really dramatic word, but you know, if your parents were, you know, less attentive, you'll have different trauma. I mean, you'll always just kind of have something. And like that's the thing, like once you're a parent, you realize like you just really, you can't be perfect. And I think once you like lean into that, it kind of is just like, I'm doing my best every single day. And like that's really hard for me, because I'm such a perfectionist, and this is just something that you can't perfect. You just can't, you can't. If I'm, you know, like overprotective, like she's not exposed to the world, and not, you know, if I'm like too lax, then, you know, she can get hurt. I mean, it's just, with everything, it's a balance, and what I think is a balance, someone else might be an extreme. So at the end of the day, your child is yours, and hopefully similar in personality to you, that what you're doing works. That's been kind of my my theory of parenting. And I think talking to other moms is really helpful, learning from other people. And I think one thing that I am doing that I am very proud of, and I think that's one of my tips. Sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place, but one day I just like didn't have a good day, and she like didn't feed well, and I just, you know, at the end of the day I was just feeling like a crappy mom, and the mom guilt is just awful. And I was like, stop it. I'm not going to go down that road of everything that I've done wrong today. Instead, I'm going to make a mental list of everything that I did right. And I started, you know, like simple to like, you know, I had, you know, I pumped 5 ounces in the morning, and she drank that beautifully. Wonderful. Then I was like, we went for a walk, and she was so happy looking at the trees move. Okay. And from that list, I was able to like do way more than 10. And like that put me at such ease. And I remember like just falling asleep and sleeping like a baby for 3 hours. But, and I just realized like me being hard on myself just makes me a worse mom tomorrow. So, that's something that I've really had to work on, because in my personal life, I'm always like someone that's just so hard on myself, and I will just like get crippled by the like negative self-talk and stuff. And with being a parent, you can't do that. You have to just try better next time, but not like dwell on it, because you don't have the energy, you don't have the time. And yeah, so I feel like that's been really helpful. But so going back to one of the things that I feel like I am really proud of in parenting is that, especially kind of slowly coming out of a pandemic, I've heard of a lot of moms that had babies like just prior to 2020, and like how that's affected their child's like social skills, or, you know, whatever, just socializing period. I really wanted to socialize Amelia as much as possible. Obviously she doesn't have siblings yet, or we don't know if we'll have more kids, and she just spit up. So to me, it's like really important for her to, I don't know, like I just want her, and I think her being Adam's child, we don't have like an issue with her like being shy or not talkative, but I just really wanted her to like be exposed to a variety of people, and, you know, different personalities, and I just like wanted her to not like be afraid, and just like like have curiosity for the world and for people. And so that's something that we started doing really early. And I know with like the pandemic, like other people holding her and stuff, like is still kind of a challenge. But like even like strangers, I mean, of course, when you have a cute baby, like strangers will stop you on the street and be like, oh my gosh, can I like say hi to your baby and stuff like that. And so I've like really tried to just, again, like lean into that. And a couple weeks ago, I actually went out for like a coffee date with other moms. And I had Amelia, and this homeless man came up, and like I could sense everyone around was kind of uncomfortable, and like started getting up and like leaving. And you know, I was safe, and you know, and he kind of like just came up, and I was like, okay, you're a little bit close. But then he started asking like, how's your baby? And like all these questions. And I, you know, just kind of like went with the flow and like treated him as, I mean, he is a normal person. And I just like answered, and then he like kind of gave me like this quick life story in like 30 seconds, and how he was an orphan, and you know, his mom gave him up, but he had apparently this little pair of shoes that his mom got for him, and like it was really special to him, and he was like, thank you for talking to me, you've made my day, she's like beautiful. And I was like babies just bring life, I think, to your home, to like everyone that they're around. So I think like spreading that like makes me feel really good. Amelia is obviously too little to understand that she's doing that, but so I think it's good for Amelia, and I think it's good for everyone around, because even if you're like not the kind of person that like wants kids, like I don't know, I think everyone is a very generalized statement, but I think most people enjoy the sight of a baby. So sorry, that was like a really long tangent, but what else? So basically giving yourself grace. For me, what's worked easier is just being a little more relaxed on the like sleep schedule. And we've started solid foods, like 1 to 2 meals a day for solids, still, you know, supplement with milk, of course. And like I remember like the first day that I didn't do solids because we were like out and stuff, and then I like also thought like, oh my gosh, like the bottle's just easier, and like I opted for the easier stuff because we were out today. And then I was like, she's fine, you know, she's healthy and she gets her vegetables every other day, and you know, she's good. So it's that, I think one of the biggest things in parenting is more forgiving yourself than anything. So I guess my takeaway, or hopefully your takeaway from this, is just give yourself grace. You're amazing beyond belief. And like I remember like in the beginning, like just like one of the things that I would add to my list was she's safe, she's healthy, and she's sleeping. Like she's alive, she's safe. And then like the first time that like they hurt themselves or something, then you're like, wow, I couldn't even keep them safe, you know. But then at the end of the day, they're still safe, you know. Like sure, they might have hurt themselves or whatever, but yeah, Amelia's now 8 months old. Yes. Hi. Can you say hi to everybody? We're 8 months old. Yeah, is our top a little bit wet? Yeah, we need to change it. So I'm no expert. I'm just speaking on the first 6 months. And I think one thing for me too was with the postpartum depression, I remember like at 4 months, I went, you know, with Amelia to her pediatrician appointment, and the pediatrician actually asked me, she's like, how are you doing, Mom? And I was like, like, not the greatest. And she was like, the reason why I'm asking is 4 months is actually like a very pivotal kind of moment for postpartum, and it is normal for like depression to like hit the worst. And like that was actually so relieving, because I remember thinking like, I thought this was supposed to be gone by now, like why am I still feeling like this? And that was kind of like the last like big bout of depression that I felt. And then of course like kind of like here and there you'll feel, you know, for like a part of the day, but nothing like that. And it does get better. And I think one thing I can't stress enough is get help if you feel like you need it. Medication is absolutely meant for situations like this where there's nothing really wrong. It's just, you know, your body and your chemistry. So there's absolutely no shame in getting some help, whether with like medicine, therapy. Hi, do you see that beautiful baby? Yeah. Hi. You know, surround yourself with the best support system that you can. Be open. Like that's one thing too that like I have really, really good circle of friends that I feel like I can say anything to, but when it comes to stuff like that, you kind of just don't want to burden them. But I swear it makes like a world of difference when you do open up. And you would be surprised at how, you know, amazing your friends are, and I think it only like brings you closer, you know. So yeah, I think this baby wants full attention now. Yeah. Did we finish her milk? Yeah. You're very cute. Thank you for being so adorable. Yeah. You're very hard though. Yeah. Yeah, babies are difficult, but they're worth it. And I know that sounds so cliche, and the whole like, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, the most rewarding. And yeah, that's exactly how we would describe it, huh? Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my summary on these last 6 months, and my takeaways. So I hope this was helpful. This weekend we're having a paella night with our friends. I do this kind of every 4 years or so. Yay, Millie's excited. Yeah. So yeah, we're excited to just have some friends over this weekend and have some paella, some seafood. Yeah. Hi. And we have you have your little friend coming over, Iris. Yeah, you girls are so cute together. Yay, I know, so exciting. All right, guys, so we'll see you on paella night. Hi. Hi guys, it's Saturday. We have a very sleepy girl. Yeah. In our group of friends, we're all kind of from all over the world, and I'm the only one who's like from Portugal, or like we don't have any like Spanish or anyone in the friend group. So I have the lovely task of making paella every 4 years. Yeah, everyone's gonna be here soon, and we just got done putting some appetizers together. Hoping she goes down for a little nap so that you're in a good mood with all of us later. Huh? Oh my gosh, my hair is a total mess. I just walked by a mirror. So I've got a burrata and an heirloom tomato and pesto, and we've got some prosciutto and melon in the fridge. So I'm doing a duck breast and chorizo on this side here, and then this is going to be our seafood. We're going to top this one with prawns and mussels.
Duck breast is the most important
It's actually not.
thing in the whole world. Okay?
He watches Gordon Ramsay once. He acts
So
like...
you put them on a cold pan, and then it come up to heat and render the fat.
Nobody cares. Very good. Be Iris, do you want to say hi to the video? Do you want to be in my video? Yeah. This is Millie's little best friend. Is that your best friend? Yeah. Oh my
Paella is ready. Duck breast. Take it off at 135 and it's beautiful. Look at that. Oh my god. So this is chicken stock, chicken breast, and then duck breast, and then we have chorizo cooked into it with slices of chorizo, and then we have mussels on top. Beautiful. Salad. And then we have the all seafood paella with chicken. So it's not all seafood, but it's a crab stock with the rice cooked in, and then we have king crab. Oh, sorry, not king. So what am I saying? Sorry. We have a mussel stock. We have a mussel stock with the mussel stock cooked into the rice, and then we have a. I'm wrong again. We have a giant prawns with a stock made out of prawn shells that we cooked with the rice, and it's beautiful. And then we have mussels on top, and this is all seafood except chicken. So nothing here is all seafood, but it's close enough.
Do you get footage of the girls?
Are you happy with your accomplishment of paella?
What's my accomplishment? Sure.
I cooked a duck breast. That said, the duck breast is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Also, Millie's having a sleepover with Iris.
Oh, this is so
Iris, high five. Yeah! What are you guys watching? What are you watching? Are you watching Luca? Millie's got her Milky. Hi, Millie. Hi, precious princess. Iris, do you want your lemonade? Do you want lemonade? I'll get you your lemonade.
They try to kind of talk about it, she kind of says a couple times, but it's very murky.
So here we have the medium rare duck breast The chicken, giant prawns. Yum, yum, yum.